Good afternoon and welcome to Pitch Dingman Competition 2021. My name's Holly DeArmond. I'm the Managing Director of the Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship at the Robert H. Smith School of Business. And we're so glad that you could join us safely from home for the final round of our virtual competition. It's been a tough year for everyone, but we're so proud of our entrepreneurs. They've shown a great deal of resiliency in doing their schoolwork, but also growing their businesses. We have an exciting virtual program for you this afternoon, and we know you're going to enjoy it. We are streaming via YouTube, so if anyone in the audience is having trouble on Hopin, you can click on YouTube, the YouTube icon, and watch it there. Pitch Dingman Competition is the Dingman Center's signature annual venture competition, and this marks our 11th year. This event provides the university's most talented student entrepreneurs the opportunity to pitch for seed funding, but also get exclusive access to venture development resources. This year, the competition is bigger and better than ever, having grown to 3 tracks with more than double the prize funding. And a special thanks to David and Robin Quattrone for their generous gift to the Dingman Center, which made this growth possible. The Quattrones have supported our competition for many years now, and we're so thankful for their belief in our student entrepreneurs. We are also incredibly grateful to our other partners, Chris NVIDIA Ballinger, Parsons Ventures, Inc., and Amazon Web Services. Your investment in our student founders is greatly appreciated. And before I move on, I would like to thank the members of the Dingman Center team who worked tirelessly to bring this new competition to life. Sarah Harold, Lottie Byram, and Haley Mates. Thank you, team. Now, I'd like to turn it over to a friend of the Dingman Center and our host for this program, Chris Lane. He's going to tell us about the tracks, the judges, and more about the teams. Chris is a proud TERP alum, and we're lucky to have him guiding us through this virtual program. So I'll turn it over to him now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Lane, and I am a graduate of the Robert H. Smith School of Business in 2015 and a former student and participant of the Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship, where I competed in several pitch competitions, winning some and being appreciative of the others. Now I sit as the co-founder and current president of Multiband Studios, a production company in Atlanta, Georgia. So thank you to Dingman and everybody that helped get me this far. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. We are here to see our finalists compete for over $70,000 in seed funding. Now, our pitch competition has gone through some changes. Not only is there more prize money, but there are also 3 separate tracks. The ventures here tonight will represent the Main Street track, the Quattrone Venture track, and the Fearless Ideas track. Now, we'll get into the details of all of that a little bit later before our pitches begin. But first, I want to make sure that we all understand. As entrepreneurs, we hustle. And that's exactly what our fearless founders have been doing thus far. They have been working on their businesses, perfecting their pitches, and now they have been participating in acceleration workshops, on one-on-one coaching with venture mentors. And they are finally in a position where they are ready to showcase their best talents. But first, let's show some special thanks to our fearless mentors who have helped get our student founders this far on the path to success. These students that we are going to see here today have made it through several rounds of fierce competition. They are the very best from a pool of 50 entrants. A passionate group of TERP judges helped choose 24 quarterfinalists and 12 semifinalists. Here are those judges. Thank you to those judges. Then, just 2 weeks ago, the 6 finalists here tonight were chosen by another experienced group of alumni judges. Here are our 5 semi-finals judges. Now, let's get a different perspective. Maryland is a great place to launch a venture. This year, we were ranked number 6 in the country by Princeton Review for undergraduate entrepreneurship education. One of the keys to that success is the ecosystem. As you all can see, putting on a competition like this truly takes an entrepreneurship village. From coaches to judges to Dingman team members, a huge number of people have been involved in supporting these finalists as they prepared for today's event. We see you and we appreciate your hard work. I'd now like to introduce the expert panel of judges who are live with us now and ready to decide the winners of the Main Street and Quattrone Venture tracks. Our judges are What a powerhouse lineup. Thank you all for your support of these student entrepreneurs. Now, let's get to the main event. Our 6 finalists from the main event and Quattrone Venture tracks will pitch their ventures live. While the judges deliberate, we'll open up our Founders Showcase in the Hoppin' Expo tab, which is an opportunity for you to meet and network with student entrepreneurs right here in the event platform. Once the judges have selected the winners, we'll kick off the awards show by using the winning pitch video from our Fearless Ideas track, and then announce the rest of the winners, including the $1,000 Audience Choice Prizes. We'll also announce the 5 door prize winners from the audience who will win some awesome Pitch Dingman swag. First up, we have our Main Street track. This track is for non-tech-based businesses with proven revenue. These students will be competing for a grand prize of $15,000 and a second place prize of $5,000. Now, each team member will deliver a 6-minute pitch followed by a 4-minute period of questions from our panel of judges. The judges are looking to see how well each venture tackles a problem in their target market, why they fare better than their competitors, how their businesses will make money, and how they will use their grand prize funds. Our founders have a lot to accomplish in just 6 minutes. Our 3 finalists for the Main Street track are Hannah with Hannah's Cake Bar, Sanketh and Uzair with Steps Incorporated, Bryn with Fancy and Spicy. Let's take a look at what these 3 businesses have been up to before the competition today.
My name is Hanna Bakala. I'm a graduating senior majoring in community health, and my company is Hanna's Cake Bar. So growing up in Ethiopia, I used to watch my grandmother bake Ethiopian bread and Ethiopian pastries almost every day, and she'd serve it to the community. I would watch her combine all these ingredients and knead for hours with no type of equipment, and I would wonder why she would put so much time and effort into baking and what the purpose was. At the start of quarantine, I started baking loaves and cookies for my roommates in March, and by the end of summer in August, I saw a picture on Pinterest where I thought that I could just recreate the image of the cake myself, and I ended up recreating it exactly. That's when I posted the image on social media as a joke to see people's reactions, and it ended up blowing up, and that's how Hanna's Cake Bar started.
Hi, my name is Sanket, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Steps. I'm a sophomore at the University of Maryland pursuing a dual degree in neuroeconomics and neurophysiology with a minor in innovation and entrepreneurship.
My name's Uzair, and I'm currently a sophomore at the University of Maryland pursuing a degree in bioengineering and a minor in nanoscience and technology. And I'm the COO as well as co-founder for Steps.
In high school, I volunteered with Tech Canal, a nonprofit aimed at bridging the gaps in STEM education in Baltimore City. I was driven to inspire underserved youth and motivate them for a future in STEM. However, I felt limited in my ability to make an impact because the equipment we had was outdated. In Howard County, many of our peers were comfortably spending $5,000 to $10,000 on tutoring services. In Baltimore City, though, most students didn't even have reliable access to up-to-date technology. So we then wondered, what if there was a way we could channel the money from wealthier communities into the communities that need it while improving education for all?
We're looking forward to growing our business and generating more social impact. Thank you so much for watching.
Hi, my name is Brain. I am a PhD student in sociology at UMD. I grew up in China and in my mom's home kitchen. Like my mom, I always like cooking and feeding our family and friends. I think cooking together is a great way to enjoy life and connect people. Inspired by my passion about food, I started a food blog, Fancy and Spicy, last September. I shared recipes, pictures, and tips. In the future, I plan to offer different kinds of cooking classes by recruiting cooking ambassadors, increase the quality of recipes, and make healthy cooking recipes accessible to anyone. It is my dream for Fancy Spicy to bring joy and delicious food to home kitchens worldwide. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Harold, and I'm the Director of Venture Development at the Dingman Center. Let's get started with the Main Street track. Our first competitor tonight is Hanna with Hanna's Cake Bar. Hanna, you may share your screen and begin when you're ready.
Hi, my name is Hanna Bakkala, and I am the founder of Hanna's Cake Bar. At the start of quarantine, I accidentally ended up baking an amazing cake for my friend's birthday and posted it on social media as a joke, commenting if people still got their cakes from grocery stores. The post got a lot of traction, and that is how I created Hanna's Cake Bar. Hanna's Cake Bar is a new category of party cakes for celebrations that are tailored to Gen Z and millennial consumers. Millennials like to be unique in everything that they do. For example, their coffee orders. They like to add different flavors and different milk styles in order to create a whole new drink. And this is the same for the millennial party experience. They don't want this traditional party experience anymore. They don't want the generic cakes. They want an extravagant event. On top of that, cakes have not evolved and are messy and time-consuming to bake for yourself. Hanna's Cake Bar aims to alleviate the stress of an important day or event by providing high-quality treats. We stand out from our competition because of our incredible and unique flavors and customizations. For our total addressable market, we stand at $44 billion, which is the baked goods market in the US. For the serviceable addressable market, it's at $809.6 million, which is the small and large cake market in Maryland, and $262.8 million, which is the cake buying population of Prince George's and Montgomery County, which is the serviceable obtainable market. For our competition, we compared Hanna's Cake Bar to social media bakeries along with Four Corners Bakery, which is a bakery in my hometown. And I found that local bakeries will always lack unique customizations because they're never following along with the trends. But at home, local Instagram bakeries will keep up with the trends, but will overcharge to compensate for themselves. But Hanna's Cake Bar is able to offer affordable prices to gain new customers. We offer maximum satisfaction in all categories that are listed. Right now, we are extremely positioned to surpass our competition. Currently, we're working with cafes in Silver Spring and DC to distribute my cakes, along with the development of our website and an app in our website that will allow customers to design specifically what cakes they want and the customizations in order to limit the time between the customer and the baker. Here is an example of our top 3 product pricings. So we have our chocolate covered strawberries, round cakes, and numbered cakes, and the range of prices that they would be. For our total revenue, in the past 7 months since we started, we've had a total revenue of $7,750 to date. In addition to our revenue, we've had total costs of ingredients and materials at $1,600, and our profit margin in 7 months has been 80%. For our product cost breakdown, here's a visualization of our product price, cost, and profit. This shows that we are profitable as a business. I shop locally to keep prices low while also keeping a detailed track of ingredient inventory. As you can see in the breakdown below, our most expensive part of the cakes is the mini alcohol bottles that customers can include if they would like, but pricing does vary based on flavor and customization. We acquire customers exclusively through Instagram and Twitter, along with word of mouth referrals. The post on the left is what our Instagram engagements are. So you can see in January, we would have a week where we didn't post. And in February, there's a spike in our engagements for when we posted promotions, discounts, and giveaways for Valentine's Day. So you can see a huge increase in our impressions and engagement that we've had on Instagram. The tweet in the middle is what I tweeted about 2 weeks ago, and we've got a little almost reaching 2,000 likes, along with a little over 1,300 retweets. And that tweet allowed us to gain 100 new followers, along with 50 new orders for the next couple months and 150 inquiries about orders. I'm estimating about 3,400 in revenue over the next 3 months just from this tweet alone. And the post on the right is what a regular Instagram post on my page would look like. We separate ourselves from our competitors in the growth area by focusing on the fact that a lot of bakeries are brick and mortars, but our customers are a generation that shop online. Customers have highlighted neatness of our cakes, along with saying how moist the texture is and how well the combinations of flavors are. For our projections, by the end of 2021, I expect to have a total revenue of $1,300 by increasing our giveaways, promotions, and discounts of new customers. I also expect to hire another baker to keep up with the volume of orders that we have. For 2022, I will have launched the website and will be working with 2 to 3 different cafes in order to distribute my cakes. And I will also have a team of bakers, which will allow me to take any orders that come in. For 2023, the app will have been launched, and we will also be expanding to farmers markets and pop-ups. And by 2024, our main source of revenue will be the launch of our bakery. For the use of funds, I plan to allocate majority of the funds for marketing, which will lead to social media promotions, advertisements like Google Ads and Instagram ads, along with any other marketing promotions that are necessary. For our shared kitchen space, I plan to use 20% of that due to the increase of volume of orders that we will be having. For our equipment, I plan to use 20% of the funds there and 15% of the funds for staff due to the volume of orders that we will be having, and 12.4% to the supplies. For the team, right now it is just me. I'm the founder, CEO, and baker. And that is Hanna's Cake Bar. I would like to thank everyone for listening, and my mentor, Monique, and the rest of the Dingman team for helping me through the process.
Well done, Hanna. Thank you so much. So I'd like to invite the judges to use their raise hand function to indicate that they'd like to ask a question for Hanna. David, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Awesome job, and really beautiful looking cakes and treats. Quick question, when talking about the orders, how long does it usually take to produce an order in terms of labor time? And then what kind of capacity do you have today with just yourself being the baker to produce in, say, a given month or week?
Thank you for your question. Usually our turnaround rate for producing our baked goods is about 3 days. Most bakeries require you to put in an order 1 to 2 weeks in advance, but I'm able to produce the baked good within 3 days. And my capacity right now, on the weekends is where I'm usually most busy. So I'm usually able to take up to 10 to 15 orders on the weekends.
Which of our judges would like to ask another question of Hannah?
I would love to.
Please go ahead, Shelley.
Thank you. Hey, Hannah, nice to meet you. Thanks so much for your great presentation. Can you talk to me a little bit more about your facility, the kitchen, as you mentioned, and are you renting it? Like, what's your capacity, and how are you able to retain that capacity at the kitchen?
Yeah, so right now I am baking out of my own home, but what I plan to use the 20% for the shared kitchen space, it would cost about $700 for the weekend to rent about 5 to 6 hours. So I would be able to produce more cakes due to the increase in the volume of orders that I would be having.
Okay, thank you.
Tom, please go ahead.
Anna, when you add to the kitchen and add to your costs, where do you see your gross profits staying at? You're at 80% right now, but as you increase costs, where do you see your gross profits being? And then also with the ingredients, can you lock in pricing there, or you're just subject to variable costs with your ingredients, and where do you supply them from? Are local sources, or are they nationally brought in?
So for the gross profit, right now it is 80% just because it is just me on my team. As the year continues and as we add more staff, the profit will decrease, but it will increase again as we have more orders because I have more of a team to take in. For our ingredients, I do get everything locally. Nothing is shipped nationally. I pick up a lot of the ingredients from grocery stores or farmers markets, so that's how I keep the costs low.
Great, thank you. Chris, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, I just have one quick question. For your market right now, do you see it mostly local, or do you feel this is going to be a much bigger, wider audience here in the next couple of months?
Thank you for your question. Right now, my market is the DMV, like metropolitan area, but even just from the tweet that I tweeted about 2 weeks ago, I had a huge influx of people asking if I was outside of the DMV area. So you can see that there's a high demand for these cakes, not only just in the DMV, but all around nationally.
And Shelley, did you want to ask one final question?
Thank you. I would love to. Hey, Hannah, me again. A question for you is, you started off your great presentation by saying that you saw a cake online and you were able to recreate that. A big thing that I look for when I'm investing in companies is a defensible advantage. So if you were able to recreate it, why wouldn't someone else be able to recreate what you're doing? And what is your defensible advantage in growing your business?
Yeah, so the cake that I actually saw online wasn't, it was just like a simple design of it. Anyone is able to recreate the cake, but it's about the unique customizations and the flavors that I offer on my cakes that attracts all of my customers.
Very cool. Thank you.
Okay, that is all we have time for Hannah. Thank you so much. Well done.
Thank you.
We're going to give the judges a minute to enter their scores in the rubric, and then we will get started with steps. I will cue you, Sankath and Uzair, so hold just 1 minute.
Okay. Hi, my name is Sankath.
And my name's Uzair, and we are the co-founders of Steps, a high-quality yet affordable tutoring service. Now, parents are tired of deciding between affordability and quality when it comes to tutoring options for their children. So meet Rishi, a high schooler getting ready to take the SAT. Rishi has high ambitions to attend top universities, so his dad enrolled him into Princeton Review's tutoring program, where he paid $150 per hour. However, Rishi's score only increased marginally, and he felt that the tutoring was impersonal and too cookie cutter. And Rishi's story is not alone. 41% of K-12 families paying for tutoring are not fully satisfied, and this is why we founded Steps. At STEPS, we offer personalized tutoring and college advising services that are one-on-one, peer-to-peer, and foster long-term relationships, allowing our tutors to better understand the strengths and weaknesses of their students. After their disappointment with the Princeton Review, Rishi enrolled into STEPS. And in just 6 months, and at a fifth of the cost, Rishi saw a score increase from the 77th percentile to the 99th. When talking to Rishi's family, they cited that our young tutor base doubled as mentors, creating an environment where students could easily ask questions. Now, our innovation lies in our volunteer-based model that introduces an alternative form of currency. The young, academically qualified tutors we look to onboard are also those who are members of honor societies that require service hours year-round. We leverage this as an opportunity to compensate our tutors with service hours and other incentives. This lowered our costs significantly and allowed us to remain affordable. 58% of K-12 families above the poverty line are currently paying for tutoring. Looking at just the DMV region, we identify our serviceable attainable market to be valued at $1.37 billion, and we hope to capture 7 million in the next 10 years. Now, we do have primary competitors. Our main competitors include national learning centers such as C2 and Kumon. These learning centers take a very standardized approach to teaching, and they don't offer a one-on-one learning environment. Tutors here also tend to be middle-aged adults who are unable to connect to students on a personal level, especially as students get paired with a different tutor each session. Parents love STEPS because we pair students with hand-picked high school and college tutors. Our tutors work with their child long-term to best understand their unique learning style. This creates an environment that promotes stronger relationships. STEPS has also built a strong brand and community around our grant foundation, and that supports education for underserved youth. And while there are competitors like Varsity Tutors that offer a personalized experience, prices range between $70 and $95 per hour. And so the pattern is clear. Affordability and quality seem to be mutually exclusive. But our model proves that it doesn't have to be.
Our revenue model is a B2C service. We offer tutoring for children in kindergarten to 8th grade at $25 per hour. And last fall, we also launched college advising and essay review packages geared towards high school students. And to lower the barrier to entry for customers, we offer a free consultation and a demo session. Our conversion rate from the demo session to a signed contract is almost 90% for tutoring. And to date, we have generated $23,000 in revenue, and our average lifetime value for a tutoring client is over $700. Our team has spent the last year and a half understanding the hurdles and validating our new business model by staying lean. In fact, we have achieved greater than 80% profitability as a service-based business. Now we have the appropriate infrastructure and are ready to scale. To acquire customers, we primarily rely on word-of-mouth marketing from satisfied clients. We were also awarded a Google Ad grant valued at $10,000 per month, and we have a growing high school brand ambassador program. And unlike our competitors, we are registered as a nonprofit. This has allowed us to capitalize on untapped marketing channels, such as partnerships with public libraries, PTAs, and county school systems to gain credibility and expand our reach. And to handle this growth, we partnered with edtech startup Tutorfly to build a scalable technology platform that streamlines our administrative operations. From scaling, we plan to generate a total of $39,000 for 2021 and $275,000 by 2023. Our growing network of partners and expanding presence in school networks makes these projections attainable. And as students who have witnessed the problem first-handedly throughout our childhood, Uzair and I are passionate about scaling STEPS into a dominant tutoring brand in the DMV region. We also have a board of directors and advisors with professional backgrounds in education who are invested in our social mission and success. And to achieve our full growth potential, we've also built a strong team of unique skill sets. However, to date, our staff is unpaid, and we realize that this is not sustainable for us as we continue to grow. This is why we'll use a large portion of the $15,000 to retain and expand our team. We're currently established in Howard County, and the funding will help us hire part-time regional directors to replicate our model in 3 more regions. Portions will also go towards our transition to a hybrid model post-COVID and marketing expenses. Especially as we reach the end of the pandemic, parents are increasingly looking for tutoring to ensure that their children aren't going to be left behind. Today, We hope that the Dingman Center helps these children and our business take the next step toward success. Thank you.
Great job, Sanket and Uzair. Which of our judges would like to ask the first question? Manpreet, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question around competition. You mentioned that your costs are significantly lower. Do you believe that you can maintain the cost to be that low going forward?
Definitely, and that's where we spent the last year and a half exploring our business model and determining how valuable those service hours are to retain and motivate our volunteer force. And we realized that we found a way after a year and a half of testing and reiterating that we can sustain that model. And so that's what's going to help us keep our costs low moving forward, even as a service.
Got it.
Danny, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. It was great, and thank you for what you're doing. I had a couple of questions. One, just so I'm clear, is the business model for high school students to tutor K through 8, or is it for college students and high school students to tutor those?
It's college and high school. Yep.
Okay, and so I know that high school students are required for service hours, but how do you all, I guess, persuade college students that don't have service hour requirements by the university to volunteer to do that?
That's actually a great question. In terms of college students, the main thing that we've noticed with high schooler students, which is why we need that whole incentive of having the service hours, is that they need something to motivate them to push towards something. We have other incentives in the form of reward certificates, and I believe one of our slides has one of the certificates on it. Yeah, there we go. So we have the ability to give presidential service awards. So even though we can't necessarily give them the service hours for their school, they can still get service hours in order to get the presidential service award, which is something massive they can put on their resume. And you generally need 100 to 200 service hours for that. So that tends to be a huge motivating factor. And then another thing is that we have a lot of the college advisors are very motivated in trying to help people. So we do our best to vet through and make sure that they'll be able to help as long as possible.
Got it. Thank you. I don't have another question, but I'll wait and go back around.
Okay, great. Tom, I saw your hand was up earlier. Did you want to go ahead?
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. For the tutoring, is it all online or is it online and in person? As we come out of COVID, will it shift to be more in person than online? And then, yeah, if you can answer that, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so before COVID, we were all in person. And then once we hit COVID, we actually lost all of our clients, most of our clients, because there was a huge hesitancy to adopt online learning. But then we saw 3 to 4 months later, parents were realizing, okay, COVID is not a 3 to 4 month thing. It's going to exist for a year. And they didn't want their children to fall behind. So then we saw increased uptake in college, in online learning. And going forward, what we're going for is a hybrid model, because there's a lot of parents that find value still in in-person learning because it's more engaging, especially for the younger children who have reduced attention spans. But there's also a lot of concerns with in-person that sometimes push families towards online learning, such as safety, security, accessibility, et cetera. So we plan on concentrating in 3 counties for in-person and then offering online learning for people who are not in those 3 counties.
And I think we have time for one more question. David, I saw your hand was up. Would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. Great job, folks. And quick question. You talked a little bit about incentivizing the kind of the tutor side of the network and the connections you're making there. Can you talk a little bit about the kind of recruiting and vetting process for how someone becomes a tutor within your network and how you verify their skill sets and their ability to play that role?
Yeah, I can answer that. So it starts off with a written application. It asks for their test scores, why they're interested, what tutoring experience they have in the past, or any leadership / experiences that test interpersonal connections. And then we also have an interview process. And what's really unique about our interview, and we recently revamped this with the help of our advisors who have professional experience in tutoring, is that it's more experimental, right? So we ask them, can you walk me through this problem if I was a student? And so that's how we're really testing the soft skills, because for K-8 students especially, it's not necessarily about the subject matter, but rather how good of a communicator you are. And then last month, we also launched our tutor training program. So it's a 4-week course. Each week's session is handled by a different one of our team members that trains them on best practices from tutoring. And that was also built with the guidance and expertise of our advisors.
Great, thank you. So that's all we have time for. Well done, Sanket and Uzair. Let's give the judges a moment to complete their scores, and then I will cue our final Main Street track pitch.
So good afternoon, my name is Spring. I'm here to pitch for the future cooking experience, fancy and spicy. Have you ever imagined that you can easily make the restaurant quality Chinese food in your home kitchen? Well, we're here to help. Fancy and Spicy is a digital culinary platform emphasizing authentic Chinese food. We started from a popular food blog last fall and then published our first cookbook. We soon got many questions and realized that more interactivity is needed. So since this spring, I have been offering online cooking classes for audience worldwide. I teach our audience how to make restaurant quality, authentic Chinese dishes in their home kitchens. They get ingredients, shopping lists, and recipes ahead of time and can follow along with the class. They learn not only recipes, but also the cultural background from a native cook. Our vision is to using technology to share authentic cooking and joy. The world is becoming more racially and ethnically diverse. Meanwhile, online experience play a greater role in people's life. There is a tremendous opportunity to bring authentic, interactive cooking experiences to consumers. At Fancy and Spicy, we will enable anyone with a laptop and home kitchen anywhere in the world to access our platform. We represent an emerging market, online culinary education, which last year was a $1 billion industry in the US alone. Our song is online culinary education for Chinese food, an estimated $16 million industry last year. Our existing customers are mainly educated young professionals. We expect that other demographics will join us as the company scales. In the past few months, we offered Zoom classes in Eventbrite as a test run. The pilot classes achieved great success, bringing in revenue more than 1,000. Customers found us through our food blog, website, and Eventbrite directly. We have not done any marketing yet. There's so much room to grow. Since Q2, we charge $25 per class, a price closer to industry standard, and increase class frequency to 4 times a week. We plan to launch online advertising and a referral program to spread through word of mouth. We have been in touch with Asian groceries and will work together to build a one-stop ingredient shopping experience. 22 will be our landmark year. In addition to increased product lines, we will launch a membership program and recruit cooking teachers. I am excited to tell you more. To scale, we first plan to introduce a membership program. By subscribing, members can access video library of previously live sessions, as well as a special class prices. Based on our experience, 20% of our audience members are repeat customers, which gives us an idea of how many members we can expect. We estimate by 2023, we will have more than 2,000 members. Second, we will recruit cooking teachers from different channels, especially our members. We see the role of student and teacher as interchangeable, forming a business cycle. We're currently hosting a cooking competition with the Chinese Student Association at UMD. We will invite winners to become our first cohort of cooking teachers this summer. If we can quickly scale, we will be rewarded financially. Our revenue is projected to be 19,000 for 21, 226 for 22, 585,000 in 23. Our direct competitors are real-time online cooking classes, such as Cozy Meal and Airbnb. Compared to them, we stand out with our Chinese focus and cultural aspect. Compared to pre-recorded videos and blogs, we emphasize authentic home cooking and interactive experiences. We are offering something very unique and are well positioned in this emerging market. We plan to use the funding for equipment, technology, teachers, and marketing. We need your help to seize the momentum and becoming a leading brand. Finally, a bit more about myself. I am a PhD student in sociology, a published cookbook author, and a cooking instructor at UMD STEM. I think food is an expression of self-identity. I get a sense of Chineseness from the food I cook, and I truly enjoy it. At Fancy and Spicy, I get to do what I love every day, connecting people and home kitchens worldwide. I feel incredibly lucky and blessed. Thank you, and please let me know if any questions.
Great job, Bryn. Athena, would you like to go ahead and ask a question?
Hi, Bryn. Great job so far. You said that you had a repeat customer rate, but the number went pretty quickly, and I want to just reconfirm what your repeat customer experience was, and I wanted a little more information on your product lines in terms of pairing ingredients with the video series, etc.
So 20% of our customers become our repeat customers. Is it what you're asking?
And then you said that you send them an ingredient list in advance, but then on another slide, you also said that you were talking about having product lines. So is that a fair assumption that that would be the next step for you guys to not just sell the lesson, but also the products to execute the lesson?
So we'd rather just focus on classes, and by product line, we mean we offer different kind of classes.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Shelley, would you like to go next?
Thank you. Hey, Bryn, nice to see you. I have a few questions, but I'll keep it to maybe one or two. In terms of, the number escaped me, but you're going to use the funds for technology. I didn't catch the exact percentage, but exactly how do you plan on scaling your tech platform? And then the other part of it is kind of following up to Athena's question around expanding and scaling. Do you plan to go into other cuisines, or will you just keep it up to the one?
Great questions, thank you. So for technology, we mainly mean website development and app. And we will expand this because we are focusing on technology platform. But right now we want to build our website. This is our priority for this year. And for our next question, you are asking whether we're try to include other cuisine, right? Yes, this is our plan. Also, startup, we focus on Chinese cuisine, but we really want to expand to Asian cuisine and maybe foods global in the future.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Chris, would you like to unmute yourself and ask a question?
Yes, hi, Bryn. This is fantastic. The food looks delicious. Quick question on your plans for raising revenues other than through membership sales. Do you have any other possible avenues, either through sponsors or advertising or other types of ways that you could use your website for?
Yes, so our main revenue will come from, let me show my financial sheet. So our main revenue will come from the classes and the membership subscription. And we do reach out to sponsors and Asian groceries, and we expect there might be some other revenue from the sponsorship and somewhere else. Yes.
Great. Tom, would you like to go ahead?
Thank you. Bryn, you're charging, look at this now, I was going to ask you a little bit more about your revenue per class. So it looks like you're charging $25 per attendee for your class. What is that going to be for a membership? How much are you going to charge for membership? Is it going to be monthly fee, annual fee? And if you could explain that a little bit, that'd be great.
Thank you. So we plan to charge a member monthly In 22, we plan to charge $10 per month. And in 23, we plan to charge $15 per month. This is a price closer to industry, but in a lower bar.
Great. Manpreet, please go ahead.
I had a question around the partnership with the Asian grocery stores you mentioned. We'd love to learn how you plan to execute that and what the partnership looks like.
Right, thank you for the question. So we plan to partner with Asian groceries because many customers said it's hard to get authentic Chinese or Asian ingredients. And people can get these ingredients from Asian groceries easily. So we plan in the future, we will set up a function after purchasing our classes, people can click just the shopping list and the ingredients they needed will be automatically added to their shopping cart in the Asian groceries online shopping store. So they can just easily check out.
Great. Last question, Danny.
My question was in relation to sorry, I should have put my hand down. My question was in relation to the financials, and I've gone through them. So thank you.
Okay, no problem. David, did you want to ask one last quick question?
Yeah, well, I'd like to expand on the long-term, possibly bringing in other cuisines and everything else. One of the unique things you mentioned is kind of that authentic home cooked kind of focus versus professional culinary dishes, right? It's really about that authenticness. Would you expect to keep that kind of unique focus as you add additional culinary aspects to the platform?
Yes, I do. But I think authenticity is one of our advantage. We want to keep it, and it doesn't conflict with include a different kind of cuisine. We can include authentic Japanese cuisine, authentic Indian cuisine, for instance.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations to all of our Main Street Track competitors. Job well done. For those of you watching in Hopin, please make sure to complete the audience choice poll. The winner that you choose will win a $1,000 audience choice award.
Let's give a big virtual round of applause for our Main Street Track student entrepreneurs. Weren't they amazing? The judges are not going to have an easy time. Now, on to our next track, the David and Robin Quattrone Venture Track. These 3 scalable companies are all tech-based or tech-enabled. The students are competing for the grand prize of $30,000 and a second place prize of $10,000. We'll be following a similar format and judging criteria as in the Main Street Track, and the same panel of judges will help us determine the winner. Our 3 finalists for the Quattrone Venture Track include Steven with NeuroStream and its flagship platform, Memly. Camilo and Spencer with Blimp Logistics. Hugo and Utsa with Technica. Now, let's take another look behind the scenes to learn a little bit more about these 3 companies before we begin our pitches. Let's go.
My name is Steven Jet2. I'm a senior studying computer science at the University of Maryland, and I'm the founder and CEO of NeuroStream. We're an education tech company dedicated towards innovating the ways that we learn. Our flagship software, Memly, is a study tools app that uses the machine learning and blockchain technology to help students keep track of their knowledge and growth hack their learning. Memly allows you to capture, remix, and practice learning whenever it happens and for any subject. Why is it difficult for some people to get a quality education and for others it feels impossible? That's not fair. Getting an authentic education should be a right, and it shouldn't be determined based on zip code or socioeconomic factors. My journey may start here, but I have a bright vision on what education should look like because we can do better.
Hi, I'm Camilo Melnick, and I'm the CEO of Blimp Logistics. I'm an aerospace engineering undergraduate at UMD, and I'll be graduating this spring, May of 2021.
And I'm Spencer Yakulak. I'm the head of mechanical engineering for Blimp Logistics. I'm a mechanical engineering undergraduate at the University of Maryland, and I'll be graduating sometime in the spring of 2022. Camilo and I went to high school together, and we led the robotics team. We spent 4 years gaining experience in engineering and leadership, kickstarting a friendship that would lead us to go into business with each other.
Together we founded Blimp Logistics. At Blimp, we're building a decentralized drone delivery network. Using proprietary automated hubs and autonomous delivery drones, we'll be able to deliver packages up to 30 pounds straight to you, wherever you are.
We also saw a problem that needed fixing, and with it, a great market opportunity. Last mile delivery is expensive and comes with serious environmental implications. We want to solve both of these problems at the same time and make some money along the way.
In the long term, we'd like to build a drone delivery network that spans across America and that's capable of delivering packages to almost anywhere inside the United States.
Hello, my name is Utsa. I'm a junior computer science major graduating in 2022, and I'm one of the co-executive directors for Technica 2021.
I'm Hugo. I'm the other co-executive director of Technica. I'm a computer science and philosophy major, also graduating in 2022.
Technica is the world's largest all-woman and non-binary hackathon organized every year by students from the University of Maryland. For the past 6 years, we've been hosting our event in person. However, for obvious reasons due to the pandemic, we had to shift to a virtual hackathon, and to do that, we had to create our own platform.
We built this because the existing solutions out there really just didn't give a great experience for hackers.
We were able to expand Technica's mission beyond just these campus walls, and it definitely made our hackers feel super valued because we did go above and beyond to create this platform that still had that Technica magic that everyone gets so excited for weekend of. But this time we were just a little bit further apart from each other, but still able to come together as one and be able to hack and have a lot of fun.
Okay, welcome back everyone. Now we'll hear from our 3 finalists in the Quattrone Venture Track. Our first competitor is Stephen with Memly. Stephen, when you're ready, go ahead and share your screen. Okay, you can begin when you're ready.
Reflect on your own educational experience for a second. Have you ever taken a class or a training and later realized you've forgotten most of what you learned? You're not alone. Research on memory decay shows that without consistent practice, we forget things quickly. Within a week, we may forget up to 90% of what we've gained. Given that the average family invests $60K for their child's education, we need a better policy than simple repetition to maintain our investment. We certainly wouldn't spend so much for a house if it depreciated so quickly. Now, consider the following. In virtually every classroom, student performance is measured using standardized tests, which is largely based on memory. Here's where that memory decay really becomes an issue. How well schools perform on these tests directly affects how much funding they receive. Take a look at our primary customer, Jersey City Global Charter Schools. If they fail to make yearly progress, they may lose access to crucial federal funding, which means less resources and more struggling students. Schools like theirs have a vested interest in our product, Memly, because it pays for itself. And I can't wait to tell you how we're solving this issue. Hi, everyone. My name is Steven. I'm a student studying computer science, and I'm the founder of Memly. We're an education tech company dedicated towards transforming the ways we learn. We offer students a study tools platform that redefines how schools keep track of student learning year to year and how students study and remember material. Think of it as a hub for your digital learning. Here's how it works. First, start capturing blocks of learning anywhere on the web. It can be an article on Khan Academy, a lecture posted on YouTube, or a worksheet stored on the drive. Each block is distributed to your students, ready for them to review and practice. Then use our unique tool to create a memory palace. This powerful technique uses story, location, and emotion to improve memory retention up to 80% and increase engagement by 90%. And our app is the only one on the market to bring this unique technique into the classroom. Finally, when it's time to study, practice your understanding in our long-term study dojo. Save valuable time and focus on deeper learning. In order to bring this product to market, we participated in programs like TERP Startup Fellowship, raising over $30,000. The continued support from Dingman and partners gave us the fuel we needed to iterate product market fit and to approach the pathway towards commercialization. In early 2020, we started a pilot program in 2 charter schools. Teachers and students were engaged, active in providing feedback, and eager to use the software. But when COVID hit, school budgets froze. Yet this opened new opportunities as parents and students were in search of alternatives. Many schools simply couldn't handle the transition to online learning. We then used tutoring as our go-to-market strategy to support struggling students, leveraging the power of Memly to help students get back on track. Individual tutoring allowed us to iron out bugs in our software, which previously hindered deployment to schools. The transition accelerated the global market for supplemental learning tools. And as we focus on our current group of customers within our service attainable market, we will continue to bootstrap to the next milestone. Schools and students are primed for ongoing digital learning, giving us a clear market to engage. Perhaps that's why we've made over 20K in the past year with large scalability potential to capture more of the market. We project 3.5 million in annual recurring revenue by 2024 with a plan to expand to over 90 charter schools. So you're probably wondering, how do we make money? Memly incorporates a SaaS model, charging subscription fees to schools and individual students who use our software, around $6,000 per 500 students and $60 annually. We use tutoring services to bridge the gap between charter school students struggling with online learning. Memly tackles core issues not addressed in the market because it leverages several advancements: blockchain technology to keep track of student learning, cognitive research to improve memory, and machine learning algorithms to optimize study time. Many people have started to realize that there are a lot of gaps in the learning system. And while Kahoot and other companies like Quizlet are tackling studying and evaluation, they're essentially using basic repetition to practice learning. Other competitors like Chegg and Slater are just answers for homework with no long-term retention tools. These tools are missing the core problem in education. Students have limited ways to keep track of learning for students. We will continue to leverage this opportunity there by tackling this aspect of the market. And we have a proven track record for using grant funding effectively. And with the prize money from the venture track, we will be using 50% of our budget to gain leads through proven customer channels to make sure that we get to our goal of 6 schools by the fall. 40% will be used for development and customer support to help us prepare to manage those schools. And 10% will fund our research and development to improve our learning models. In the next 3 years, we plan to scale by raising seed and venture capital to make sure that we have the fuel to grow, growing to over 6 million in total revenue by expanding rapidly to more charter schools, and increasing our users by outsourcing tutoring and targeting summer programs. I'm focused on making a larger impact on the greater education system. That's why I've studied under the former US Secretary of Education, Dr. John King, for his perspective on how we can change education together. It couldn't be made possible without my wonderful co-founder, Sage, and the amazing talent at the University of Maryland. And lastly, with great mentors to support and prepare us for the various factors that come with rapidly scaling a solution. Their help has been invaluable to getting to market quickly. We have bright plans to improve education using digital technology, so join me in the next bold wave to make sure our students have the best tools to succeed. Thank you.
Well done, Stephen.
Thank you.
Chris, please go ahead and ask a question.
Yeah, this is a very interesting concept and great job putting this all together. I have a real quick question on, you said you're going to be using the funds to improve customer channels. I would assume that would mean going to the charter schools. Can you elaborate a little bit more on exactly what you'll be using the funds for and how you will be using them?
Yeah, absolutely. So 50% of our funds to go through proven customer channels like LinkedIn and Thumbtack. We're contacting school administrators, superintendents through LinkedIn, and additionally through Thumbtack, we're targeting individual students. So we have about a customer acquisition cost of about $1,500 per charter school and about $25 per student.
Manpreet, please go ahead and ask your question.
I had a question on Thumbtack. So are you using Thumbtack to acquire customers? So people are looking for tutors on Thumbtack and you're responding?
Yeah, so we used Thumbtack in the past year to target individual students through a company that we were partnered with, Valentino's Workshop. And so that's how we got a lot of individual students to test our software in the past year.
Got it. And what's the biggest feedback or pushback you've had from charter schools about adopting your software?
Yeah, so I mean, in the beginning when we first started, our technology was a little bit robust. It took a little bit of time to kind of get them familiar with the Memory Palace, and that's why we started using workshops to help them get teachers and students on board. And then we try to reduce some of the robustness of our solution. And then with individual students, we try to remove as many bugs as possible with working with individual students.
I have a couple of questions, Sarah, for Stephen. Hi, Stephen, I'm Shelley. You have a co-founder, Sage. What is her role with the company?
So she's a lead operations officer. So she's been working with us for a while. She helped me start, we've been together for about 7 years. She helped me start the company, and she's been helping me all aspects of the business. You know, we have to wear a lot of roles, especially in the early startups. So she just helps with a lot of different aspects of the business.
Great, thank you. And then my follow-up question is, you mentioned some of your competitors, and you also mentioned that you're going to be raising seed and A. Have you also thought about an exit strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, this technology is in a perfect position to reach a lot of students, and with the right acquisition, I think maybe something like Everfi or Google, we can, build a strategy to launch worldwide. So definitely I've thought of different acquisition strategies.
Great, thank you.
Last question, Athena, please go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to get some clarification on your pricing. It looks to me like you have to do the charter school first. They pay you a certain amount of money, and then on top of that, it's a per user fee for individual users, or those are two different markets?
Yeah, so the charter school markets are just a larger contract. So that's our way to get a lot of students at once. And then the individual students, they would be paying about $60 annually if they purchased it individually.
For the individual market, how do they, who creates the content then in their Memory Palace?
So if they're connected with tutors, we have a big strategy to outsource our tutoring with different companies. The tutors would be making the content, telling the students, what they have to study, and then students themselves will be building Memory Palaces.
Okay, well done, Stephen. So now we'll give the judges a minute to enter their scores, and I will cue Blimp when you're up next.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Spencer.
And I'm Camilo.
And we want you to know that drones are here. And it's only a matter of time before they're so ingrained into our daily lives that we won't know what we did without them.
Fast last mile delivery doesn't work outside of cities. Vehicles are expensive and labor is costly. Longer distances make costs go up, and customers and businesses alike are subjected to eye-watering fees.
We've identified 3 demographics in rural and suburban communities in need of a solution. Residents of food deserts and low-income areas lack affordable access to groceries. Elderly people that live alone rely on others to purchase and deliver goods for them. And young adults have demonstrated a demand for late-night snack deliveries. These groups live in the same places and they have the same problem. And we can address that problem with drones. They're faster and less expensive than cars. They're easy to scale. You just deploy more of them where you need more capacity or coverage. Customers pay less, they don't tip the drone, and businesses can save 50% or more on commissions. Blimp is building a network of automated hubs and autonomous drones that work together to deliver packages. This network is suited to rural and suburban markets because of its range, payload size, and distributed nature. Our drones will carry up to 30 pounds with 6 payload slots. That's groceries, or even 6 snacks for 6 different customers. The hubs that our drones operate out of can be deployed rapidly. Imagine a specially equipped shipping container housing 2 drones that can be placed almost anywhere. With mid-delivery battery swapping, drone operational range is 120 miles or more.
Drones are ready for the mainstream. They're already being used in industries like agriculture, film and TV, and live events like President Biden's campaign light show. The tech is here and regulations are catching up. Other companies have spent time and money lobbying the FAA and have defined a pathway for legal drone operations. We can ride in the slipstream of their efforts and go to market rapidly. COVID accelerated the demand for faster and cheaper same-day deliveries, and last-mile delivery providers grew rapidly in response. But they continue to charge businesses and their customers unsustainable fees. They need a solution now.
Drones are here, but many of our competitors are not other drone companies. We plan to shine in rural and suburban markets. You can access delivery services in these areas, but they're expensive and slow. We stand out because of our prices and speed. Most importantly, we do not depend on centralized fulfillment centers. This saves money and allows us to deploy to new markets in days, not months. Think of Blimp as a common carrier for rural and suburban markets. Businesses in these areas want to offer their customers instant delivery, but they lack the resources to build their own networks. While Amazon does offer warehouse-to-door shipping, they do not provide businesses with access to their instant last-mile services. With their existing network structure, Amazon cannot easily pick up and deliver packages from multiple locations, nor are they currently trying to. Blimp will provide Amazon-level logistics to businesses without Amazon-level budgets, leveling the playing field for local businesses.
Blimp has a simple business model. We charge the customer $3 per delivery and the business 10% of the order total, capped at $2. Our drones cost 3.8 cents per mile to operate, and this includes electricity, battery replacement, and maintenance. Net income per order is $4.24, and it's going to take about 9 months to pay back the initial deployment costs of one hub and drone. Over a hub's 15-year life, we expect net income per hub to exceed $1.5 million, and this includes a drone replacement every 5 years.
Targeting our 3 customer groups in Maryland gives us a SOM of $85 million. When you expand that demographic to the entire US, you get our SAM of $4.6 billion. So there's room to grow, and our market does not stop with our beachhead customers. Presently, Blimp Logistics is a 2-person team.
So I'm Camilo, the CEO. I'm an aerospace engineering undergrad with 8 years of experience building and flying drones. I worked in the Unmanned Vehicles Research Lab on campus for 4 years, and I've taken classes in entrepreneurship. Last summer, I participated in the TERP Startup Accelerator, where I launched Blimp together with Spencer.
And I'm a mechanical engineering undergrad with 8 years of experience in robotics and manufacturing. I've held 5 different internships in engineering, and Camilo and I are members of Startup Shell.
We've got an ambitious go-to-market strategy. In our first 2 years, we'll develop and test a full-scale aircraft, working through FAA certification and laying the groundwork for field trials. In the 3rd year, we'll conduct field trials with real customers in rural and suburban Maryland, and we anticipate FAA approval and a full launch by year's end. We plan to fund these efforts with a mixture of non-dilutive and dilutive funding, including a National Science Foundation SBIR proposal that we're finalizing. Our plan to scale involves manufacturing and deploying new hubs and drones out from our starting locations in Maryland. With 5x margins, we should be able to expand our network organically, not needing to rely on external funding for future deployments. A larger network will allow us to connect new businesses with old customers, expanding delivery coverage between communities and across state lines. So far, on a mere $5,000 budget, we've designed a full-scale payload mechanism, a functional scale aircraft prototype, precision landing hardware, and a scale hub. The money from Pitch Dingman will fund further development of our MVP, including manufacturing a functional payload system and building a larger drone to test our software and hardware systems. These efforts will culminate in a functional demo of a drone, hub, and software system capable of delivering test packages over short distances. We'll also create a software simulation of our drone delivery network with comparisons to real-world delivery systems. This will instill confidence in our technology in a real-world environment and will be essential in future fundraising.
Thanks for listening. Any questions?
Well done, Camilo and Spencer. Our first question, please go ahead, Danny.
Hi, thank you for this. Could you all walk me through the journey from pickup to delivery?
Sure.
If I ordered groceries, does your drone go to the grocery store? How are the individuals trained to, I guess, give the drone my groceries? And then is it automatically coming to my house? Do you all drive it to my house? I mean, do you all control it? Can you just walk me through the journey a little bit of what that process looks like?
Yeah, so to start off with, the drones are 100% autonomous. So they're being monitored remotely the whole time, but 99.9% of the time they're flying themselves. So the first phase is order placement and dispatch. So an order is placed and our network will dispatch a drone from a hub or in flight when the store is ready, so when they've packed the order. At the store, the drone will land on an elevated loading platform that keeps it out of reach from passerby, and a store employee will come out and attach the package to the drone. It's a very simple click and it sticks. The drone arrives and the drone then takes off from the store and it flies to the customer's location, and it arrives and identifies the delivery zone. If the zone is clear of pets, people, children, it starts the drop-off process, which involves hovering at 30 feet and lowering the package on a tether. Once the tether hits the ground, the package is released, the drone reels it back up and flies away, either to get a fresh battery, to handle another order, or to go augment network capacity in some other location.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Manpreet, please go ahead.
I had a question on the replacement of the drones and the repairs. I think you mentioned that it would be once every 5 years you need to replace a drone.
Correct, yeah.
And what are the repair costs in the meantime for that drone?
So the repair costs, we factor that into the per mile cost.
Okay.
So maintenance costs are about half a cent a mile, and it's about 50% of the lifetime cost of the drone. And then these repair costs also account for, I think it's 50% of the hub's lifetime deployment cost as well. So this could include either sending a tech out to the hub just to refurbish it with a new part, or it could also include the drones flying themselves back to our maintenance centers where we can do work on them there.
Got it. Okay.
We have time for one or two more questions. Which judge would like to go next? David, please go ahead.
How many drones can you have per hub?
So each hub has storage space for 2 drones, and it's got an additional hotspot for a 3rd drone that can land and get a battery swapped and then be on its way. So we deploy them initially with 1, and then based on demand in the area, we can add another drone to it.
Got it. Okay.
Tom, please go ahead.
Does the hub that you're going to have, is that staffed by a person who's monitoring the drone all the time and doing the battery replacement, or is the battery replacement done automatically when the drone comes back to your hub?
The battery replacement is done automatically. The hubs are housed in 20-foot shipping containers, and they're completely robotic, fully self-managed. We have telemetry data on all the hubs, all the drones that we're monitoring remotely.
And the batteries.
Yeah.
So we have time for one last question. If a judge would like to go ahead.
Sarah, I'm happy to ask. I have a
Yes,
question about, thank you. But hey guys, I have a question about your go-to market. You said that you'll be launching in year 3.
Correct.
So what does that do for, who else is out there, and how are you going to attain your sticky factor, and how ahead of, how will you catch up to any competition that's already out there by getting to market in year 3?
So a lot of our competitors, right, have been stalled by FAA regulations, and this has been an issue for the past 5 to 7 years. But recently the FAA has gotten its act together, and now we've got defined regulations for companies specifically acting as drone delivery companies and certifying these new type of UAS aircraft. So everyone has kind of been stopped by this, and now because of these new regulations, everyone can move forward. And our deployment in year 3 is going to be in primarily rural and suburban areas where there aren't really other conventional competitors, right? And the other drone delivery companies have a hub and spoke model. So they set up a whole launching facility, and then they launch and they manage their drones out of there. We can just deploy our hubs off the back of semi trucks, and we have coverage in that area. We don't need to rent land, rent a facility, that sort of thing. And our costs are way lower than every other sort of delivery company that operates in these areas because of our per mileage cost, right? It's only 3.8 cents a mile.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Camilo and Spencer. So we'll give the judges a minute to enter their scores before I cue Technica.
All right, thank you. All right, hello everyone. We are the Technica team presenting how we created the first online event platform custom built for students. But first, I wanted to share a story. When I was a junior in high school and walked into my first computer science class, I looked around the room and realized I was one of 2 girls in the entire class. I felt like I didn't belong in tech, and I'm not alone. In fact, only 18% of computer science graduates in 2019 were women, meaning there are millions of jobs in the tech industry going unfilled due solely to the lack of female and non-binary engineers available to fill them. That all changed when I got to Technica. Suddenly, I was surrounded by passionate, empowering women ready to break boundaries in technology, and I finally felt at home in tech. Technica is the world's largest all-woman and non-binary hackathon organized every year by students from the University of Maryland. Technica is a nonprofit, and a hackathon is an event where people can come together to collaborate on technical projects. At Technica specifically, we have fun workshops and mini events contributing to what we like to call our Technica magic. Our main goal is to empower the next generation of female and non-binary engineers to feel at home in tech, just as they did for me years ago. However, in 2020, like all large events, we faced a huge problem. We had to ask ourselves, how do we take our huge in-person event and move it online without sacrificing quality, keeping students engaged, and keeping that Technica magic alive?
We've all felt burned out and tired after spending just a couple hours on Zoom without a break. Now imagine how tired you'd feel if you had to be on Zoom for 24 hours straight competing in a hackathon. It's crazy, and we knew that we could do better. We leveraged the fact that we've run one of the largest student events in the world for 5 years, and we redesigned virtual events from the ground up by creating our own virtual event platform from scratch to be more engaging and more fun. Our platform includes novel features like one-click sign-in, team collaboration, event recommendations, game integrations, an engaging live stream, and so much more. Because of our platform, Technica 2020 was one of the largest virtual student events in the fall, hackathon or not. We hosted over 1,800 total hackers throughout the course of the weekend, more than doubling the number that we hosted in the prior year. And we hosted over 3,000 total platform users, really proving that the platform can scale. But you don't need to take our word for it. Our users love us. They keep telling us how much they enjoy the fact that the platform is built specifically for students and for their unique needs, and the fact that they feel so much more engaged and in tune with what it's really trying to do for them. After our event, we were inundated with requests from people who had attended Technica saying, hey, I loved your platform. It was really, really cool, really, really engaging. How can I use it for my own event? Because of that, we quickly realized that other organizations were facing a similar challenge in terms of keeping students engaged during their virtual event. Our target market is student-focused virtual events. While our competitors like Zoom, Cvent, Hopin, and others are all catering to the much larger and much more competitive global virtual events market, but because of our student focus, we're able to make our product customized for our user base, and our clients really see their engagement skyrocket. One of our clients saw their workshop and breakout session attendance more than triple after switching to our platform from Hopin.
Not to mention, we're set to take over a multi-billion-dollar market, and we're growing rapidly. When we first launched the platform in October, we had around 5,000 active users, and in just a couple of short months, we're already up to 15,000 active users on the platform. Our customization is truly what's driving our revenue growth. We offer our customers a subscription model that allows them to pay for the platform based on the customizations they ask for. Because of this model, we've made $14,000 in revenue in just 3 short months. Our go-to-market strategy has a clear plan for growth that rests on these 4 pillars. The first of which is our self-service model. And then by investing in scalability, targeted marketing, and enterprise features, we know that we can grow our user base. With the earnings from the Pitch Dingman competition and the $30,000 grand prize, we plan on strategically investing into each of these 4 pillars to help raise the platform to reach new heights. Now, meet the team behind the platform. Hugo and I are the current co-executive directors for Technica. One of our strategic advisors is Marissa Mayer, the former CEO of Yahoo and one of the first female engineers at Google. She really resonated with our mission and organization and loves our product, and now offers us product and marketing strategy advice. And the true backbone of our organization are the organizers, which are over 100 students from the University of Maryland working tirelessly to help promote Technica's mission. Our ultimate goal is to use the platform sales to help make Technica financially self-sufficient. Currently, we rely on things like corporate sponsorships and grants to help fund our event. However, by becoming financially self-sufficient, we can ensure that every dollar the platform makes gets reinvested back into Technica. By investing in the Technica platform, you are investing in the future for the next generation of female and non-binary engineers and keeping the Technica magic alive for years to come. Thank you so much, and now we can take any questions.
Well done, Hugo and Itza. Which judge would like to ask the first question? Danny, please go ahead.
I just wanted to know why you all, I guess, chose to have a 501c3 versus a for-profit entity.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So we only came up with the platform last year. However, Technica has been around since 2015. So when we first created our organization, we registered it as a 501c3 nonprofit, and we still are a nonprofit today.
Thank you.
Which judge would like to go next? Chris, please go ahead.
So it's a fantastic platform. It looks like you're getting some traction, but could you explain to us how you plan to spend the funding that you would get in this Pitch Dickman competition? You say you were going to scale, and I would like to hear a little bit more how you plan to do that. And then I have a follow-up question.
Yeah, definitely. So this is our core go-to-market strategy with these 4 pillars. We really need to make sure that the platform is scalable. We've scaled all the way up to 5,000 users using it at once, but in order to support much larger events, we really need to invest on the engineering side. Obviously, we need to get customers in order to do that, so we really want to invest in targeted marketing. Right now, all of the actual customers that are paying for the platform, they once used it as users themselves. So they used it for another event, fell in love with it, and then they paid us to use it for theirs. We really think that that is a great marketing strategy. It's worked great for us so far. So we really want to invest in that. And then finally, we really want to invest in enterprise features, just because a lot of the bigger customers that we've talked to, especially our corporate clients, they really need certain protocols in place like SAML SSO in order to really be able to use the platform fully.
All right, I guess real quickly, your model is going to be a subscription model, and how do you plan to market that?
Yeah, definitely. So the subscription model, that really allows folks to pay for the platform for the entire year and then use it across any events that they're hosting. Some of our competitors, they make you pay kind of on a per event basis. So the marketing there really is letting people almost market the platform for us through their own events. All of our customers are obviously using the platform, and a great deal of our inbound interest has just been from people using it and falling in love with it. So we really see that as a core marketing strategy. Obviously, we want to augment that with things like content marketing and testimonials, as well as a referral system.
Okay, David, please go ahead.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the scaling and the platform and the benefits of the platform for the clients to use it. Can you talk and give a little detail on what technologies you're building this on and what cloud providers you're using to help deliver that platform to the customers in the SaaS model?
Definitely. So our whole platform is built on Amazon Web Services. It's also built using a serverless architecture. What that means is that compared to our competitors, we can actually spend a lot less on cloud hosting, which is our primary cost. That's because we only pay for what we use in terms of cloud capacity. All of our other competitors mostly are using more monolithic architectures with more general servers. And because of that, they're paying for all of those servers, no matter whether they're using them for an event or not. So it really brings our costs down overall.
Wonderful. Thank you, Hugo and Utsa. So congratulations to all of our competitors tonight. We know how hard you worked, and we are so proud of you.
Welcome back, everyone. We hope you enjoyed meeting more of our talented entrepreneurs at the Founder Showcase. Okay? The third track in our competition works a little differently than the others. In order to reach students that are curious about entrepreneurship but haven't launched a venture yet, we created this Fearless Ideas track. The goal is to empower students to share their ideas to improve a specific social problem through venture creation. The inaugural theme for the Fearless Ideas track challenged students to develop a venture idea that tackles systemic racism in the fields of business, technology, and mental health. Students were asked to create a 5-minute video pitch to showcase their efforts in understanding the problem and their unique idea to improve or solve. Here are those judges. Yes, thank you to our all-star judges for reviewing the video pitch submissions. Now, to announce our winners of the Fearless Ideas track, I'm gonna send it over to Holly.
Thank you, Chris. And we're back. So first off, like Chris said, we're going to announce the Fearless Ideas track winner. The track winner is Modern Toy Company. He's founded by Smith MBA student Matt Parsons. So congratulations to Matt and team. As the Fearless Ideas Grand Prize winner, the startup will receive $5,000 in cash, as well as guaranteed admission to our Summer Accelerator TERP startup. So we look forward to helping Matt and team grow over the summer. The second place in Fearless Ideas is Cooley. It's an app to help college students diversify their personal and future professional networks. And Cooley is led by electrical engineering undergraduate Rashad Berkey. So now we're going to take a look at some brief clips from both of those startups.
Hello, my name is Matt Parsons, and I'm back in my childhood hometown. My wife Elaine and I are trying to help solve two major issues affecting this community and our country. That is mental health and racism.
We believe that all children should have dolls that have their skin tones, dolls of diversity. That way they can relate to and see the world how it is. It's time to help families in their home. We have a huge crisis in this country. It is the goal for our company to help treat mental health before these mental illnesses occur. We know that anxiety, depression, and mental health issues are through the roof. We have to address it when the kids are toddlers, when the kids are children, before these health issues occur. If we can do that, we can help improve the crisis going on in this country. Now I want to introduce you to Modern Toy Company.
Our solution involves 3 equal parts. First, we have our 10 inclusive characters from different backgrounds. Then we have the educational content that will teach emotions and coping skills through books, flashcards, and other educational materials.
We've created a truly diverse and inclusive company that specializes in creating dolls and educational materials.
Did you know, on average, African American job applicants in the U.S. receive 36% less callbacks compared to their white counterparts with identical resumes since 1990? Why do you think this is? This situation is caused because hiring managers tend to prefer hiring applicants with similar backgrounds and life experiences as themselves. Let's introduce Cooley. Cooley is a mobile app designed to create a sense of community within a classroom by allowing collaborations amongst classmates. It also facilitates shared college experiences with other students across the nation. Cooley will automatically group students based on the classes they're taking and create a personalized dashboard. Cooley allows students to post requests for collaboration. Once the request has been accepted, the students will be sent to a private group chat where they can discuss their tasks. In addition, Cooley users will have access to a college-wide feed where students can post and share their experiences. By doing this, Cooley creates a shared community amongst our future workforce, where racial segregation and biases which can affect hiring decisions can be addressed and dealt with.
Congratulations to our Idea Stage teams. I'd now like to introduce a very special guest, the new Dean of Maryland Smith, Prabhadev Khonana. Dean Khonana joined the University of Maryland this January and has jumped right into all things entrepreneurship. As anyone who knows him can attest, he's a big fan of Shark Tank and was so excited to learn that we have our own version of the famous competition here on our campus. So Dean Khonana, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Were you feeling more like the ruthless Mr. Wonderful or the supportive Lori Grenier?
Thanks, Holly. What a wonderful event. I was so glad to join you all. I'm a Shark Tank. Whenever I get a chance, I get hooked onto that. Definitely not Kevin O'Leary, but I love to be Lori in most senses. And what a great, fantastic pictures. I just absolutely loved it. Congratulations to all the competitors tonight. You have worked very hard to get to this point, and we'll wait what happens in another few minutes. As our audience has witnessed tonight, the Dingman Center team works tirelessly to educate, empower, mentor students from all across campus with the business skills needed to be entrepreneurs. Since its founding 35 years ago, the center has touched thousands of young entrepreneurs. And in the last 5 years alone, the center has helped launch over 500 student startups, engaged 400 mentors, and distributed over 700,000 in non-dilutive seed funding to student entrepreneurs. And Holly asked me what my views are, and we hopefully will be able to increase that money even more because we must invest in the startup ideas, and I'll do my best to support that. In fact, this competition is one of the key ways that universities provides financial resources to student entrepreneurs, and I'll do my best to increase that. And we have some great donors here as well to help us do it along with that. And that also explains why we are ranked so high in the Princeton Review, ranking in the top 10 in the nation. And we hope to continue build on this and move up the ranking. This award that you're finding enables our fearless founders to achieve their next milestones, whether that's a more advanced prototype, inventory to be sold to customers, or new equipment to produce more new products. We're so grateful to have a group of very committed and generous donors that make this possible. Without the help, we would not go too far. And let me acknowledge David and Robin Quattrone have supported Pitch Dingman competition for 6 years in a row. And we hope that partnership continues and to see more successes. Thank you, David and Robin. We really appreciate your support for the last 6 years and many more years to come. I also like to thank several others who generously helped us to bring this competition to life. We truly appreciate the philanthropy of Tom Parsons, Chris and Vidya Bellinger, and members of the Dingman Center Board of Advisors. As you all have seen, events like Pitch Dingman competition really showcases the best of entrepreneurship and the best talent we have on campus. And this is what University of Maryland and the Smith School stands for, to nurture the entrepreneurs and to be the future leaders in that. I just want to take this opportunity to thank Holly and her team for making this event happen. And I know how much time it takes to make this event work so flawlessly, even in a virtual world. Hopefully we'll all see in person, enjoy that, hopefully not for the students, but the rest with a glass of wine, to really celebrate every entrepreneur, even if your project is not funded, because it is a wonderful idea. I also want to thank all the judges for taking their time to review all the projects and the time you spend. And I think it's very important for us that you're giving back with your time and money as well. Thank you, everyone. Now I know you're all eager as me to find out who's tonight's winners. To announce the prizes, I will turn it back to Holly. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you, Dean Konana. Thank you for those generous remarks. And yes, I hope we can have you be a judge next year when we're live. Okay, so here we go. It was a really tough deliberation. We have some fantastic judges. We had some enriching discussions, but we have our winners. So first I'll be announcing the winners of the Main Street track. Let's start with how the audience voted first. The $1,000 Audience Choice Award goes to Hannah's Cake Bar. So congratulations, Hannah. The judges elected to go second place prize of $5,000 to Steps Inc. So congratulations, team. And our winner of the 2021 Pitch Dingman Competition Main Street track is Fancy and Spicy. So congratulations, Bryn. Great pitch. We're so proud of all of our Main Street track competitors and wish you the best. Now, the judges' deliberation for the Quattrone Venture track was intense. These really are 3 great startups. But without further ado, let's get to the prizes. So first, what did the audience vote? The $1,000 Audience Choice Award goes to Technica. Congratulations. And the second place prize of $10,000 also goes to Technica. So nice pitch. Good job, Hugo and Utsa. And drum roll, please. Our $30,000 grand prize winner of the 2021 Pitch Dingman Competition Quattrone track is Blimp Logistics. So congratulations, Camilo and Spencer. But congratulations to all of our teams. If you're in the Main Street track or the Quattrone Venture track, you did nice work, very solid pitches under a lot of pressure in the virtual format. So congratulations, you all did so well. And thank you to the judges. This is a very difficult decision to make when the teams are this strong. So thank you so much to our judges. And thank you to our audience for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. We look forward to being with you again next year. So good night and go Terps.